Hello students, once again. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the chapter number 3, squares and square roots. And let me clarify you first of all, uh, Vedic multiplication, or you can say Vedic mathematics, the finding of squares using Vedic mathematics. Okay, it is optional for you. If you want to do it by yourself for your own knowledge, you can do it. From examination point of view, it is not valid, because if I am asking about 94 square, if I am asking you about 94 square, so as it is MCQ type paper, so you need not do the Vedic mathematic whole procedure. You can directly multiply 94 into 94. Okay, so once again, the validity of Vedic mathematics is not so good for online exams. Okay, so and one more thing, the topic Vedic mathematics, that I'm going to teach you physically when the school starts. Okay, I'm not going to teach you as such on this platform because there are lots of problems with it and lots of things are misinterpreted. So I want to teach it personally to you. Okay. Secondly, exercises, last two exercises of this chapter, exercise 1.5 and 1.6, I guess. Okay. In this chapter number 3, there are 5 exercises. Okay. So exercise 3.4 and 3.5 are no longer part of your syllabus. I've cut down the syllabus by 30% throughout the book. Okay, so in this chapter, exercise 3.4 and 3.5 are no longer part of your syllabus. So what remains in the syllabus is you have to do the squares, first exercise, and you have to do the square roots, third exercise. Vedic mathematics is not that important. If you want to try it for yourself, you can try it. You are most welcome. Okay, but once again, from examination point of view, it is not that important. Okay, let me make it myself clear. Okay, I don't want any queries on this one. And one more thing, some of the students are curious about from where the paper is going to be. So beta, paper is mostly rational number, addition, subtraction, multiplication. I can change the number whenever I want. Okay, I can change the digit whenever I want in the paper. Okay, you cannot say that the paper is out of book because the digits are changed. Fine. And most of the questions that were given in the assignment were based on the theory that I discussed during my videos. In the video lecture that I provided you before the holidays, I discussed the theories mostly. So you cannot again say that this is not a part of a book or this is not a part of your NCERT. And let me make one thing more clearer to you. Most of the questions that I discussed before the holidays that were from NCERT are all present in your book Math Bliss. Math Bliss contains some extra questions as well, but the questions discussed earlier are all present in your book Math Bliss. You can find them. Digits might be changed, but the basics of the question, the basics of the concepts are same. Okay, now moving on with the chapter number 3, squares and square roots. Let me revise the chapter for you. Okay, I'm going to do a quick revision along with some questions. Okay, some questions from the book Maths Bliss. Okay, so first of all, what is a square? If we multiply a number with itself, then it is called its square. Suppose we have to find the square of 12. So what you need to do is you have to multiply 12 with itself, and your answer 144, that is square of 12. Square of a number is represented by this 12 to the power 2. Square of a number is represented by a power 2. So exponent here is 2. Okay. Square of any number can be determined. Square of 0.1 is 0.01. Okay, so square of any number can be determined. It can be a rational number. Square of 3 by 4 is 9 by 16. A number can be rational, irrational, positive, negative. Anything can be, square of any number can be determined. Okay, now properties of square. First of all, square of an even number is always square of an even number is always even. Similarly, for odd number, the square is always odd. Square of an odd number is always odd. Okay, and third is square of a negative or positive number is always positive. Square of any number is always positive. Okay, square of any number is always positive, square of an even number is always even, square of an odd number is always odd. Okay, square of negative number is also positive, square of positive number is also positive. Okay, we are just talking about real numbers. This is next, let's see. This is the table that is also in your book. This is the square of first 50 numbers. The square of first 50 numbers. So you can refer this table from your book. I have taken this table to discuss the next property. Next property is unit digit of a square number. Unit digit of a perfect square. Okay. Let's say square of 1 unit digit is 1. Square of 2 unit digit is 4. Square of 3 unit digit is 9. Square of 4 unit digit is 6. Square of 5 unit digit is 5. Square of 6 unit digit is 6. Square of 7 unit digit is 7. Square of 8 unit digit is 4. Square of 9 unit digit is 1. Square of 0 0. Okay. So if unit digit of a number is provided to us, unit digit of a number is given to us, we can easily determine the unit digits of a square. We can easily determine the value of its square. Okay, so let me write down the unit digits. Possible unit digits are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. There are 9 digits. Okay, in our number system there are 9 digits. So let's discuss what is the unit digit if the unit digit of a number is 0. See, for the square of 20 unit digit is 0, unit digit of final answer is again 0. Okay, square of 1, if we are doing square of 1, the unit digit is going to be 1, as well as if we are doing square of 9, the unit digit is again going to be 1. Okay, for 2 square, if the unit digit of a number is 2, then its square, the unit digit of its square is going to be 4. If unit digit of a number is 8, then its square is going to be again unit digit as 4. Okay, similarly for 3, if its unit digit of any number is 3, then its square is unit digit of its square is going to be 9. And if unit digit of a number is 7, then unit digit of its square is going to be again 9. For 4 and 6, the unit digits are going to be same. For 4, unit digit is 6. For 6, unit digit is 6. And 5, it remains 5. Okay, so you can easily determine by checking out the unit digits. Okay, you can determine whether a given number is perfect square or not by checking out its unit digits. If the unit digits are 1, 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9. If these are the unit digits, if one of these numbers is unit digit, there is a high possibility of the number being a perfect square. There is a high possibility for a number being a perfect square. If the unit digit of a number are 2, 3, 7 and 8. If the unit digits of a number are 2, 3, 7 and 8, then number is definitely not a perfect square. Okay, you have to keep this table in mind as well. Okay, you have to keep this table in mind as well. Along with learning the squares of a number, you have to also remember how the unit digit is determined by checking the unit digits of a number. Okay, next is squares as a sum of odd numbers. So I have already discussed, if we add consecutive odd numbers, not odd numbers, prime numbers. If we continue adding prime numbers, you will get a square number. Suppose I add first 5 prime numbers. So first 5 prime numbers are 1, not prime numbers. Okay, let me rephrase it. That was odd. First 5 odd numbers. Okay, let us check. We will check and we will determine what is the correct one. 1 plus next odd number is 3 plus next odd number is 5 plus next odd number is 7 plus next odd number is 9. Okay, let us check its sum. 9 plus 1, 10, 7 plus 3, 10, 20, 20 plus 5, 25. 25 was square of 5. Okay, so if you add odd numbers, okay, if you add 5 odd numbers, you will get square of 5. If you get 9 odd numbers, you will get square of 9. If you get 40 odd numbers, you will get square of 40, that is 1600. It was included in the assignment given to you, remember? Okay. Next is difference of squares of two consecutive numbers. So first of all, what are consecutive numbers? Numbers after each other. Consecutive numbers are those whose difference is only 1. Consecutive numbers are those whose difference is only 1. Okay, so we have to determine the difference of squares of two consecutive numbers. So let's take two consecutive numbers. I taken 13 and 12. Okay, so in order to determine this difference, first of all, what you can do is, direct method is, you find out the square of 13, that is 169. You find out the square of 12, that is 144, and you do the subtraction. Subtraction will be 25. Okay. There is another method. What you do is, you add both the numbers. You add both the numbers and you will get answer as 25. Okay. Let's take another example. Let me take this example from a book. There is no such example in your book, but anyhow, let me take another example. Let's take square of 50. Square of 16 minus square of 50. Okay, square of 16 is 256. Square of 15 is 225. And their subtraction is going to be 30. And if you add both the numbers, once again the answer is 31. Okay, so difference of squares of two consecutive numbers can be determined by simply adding the numbers. You need not perform the square and subtraction, you can simply add the numbers. Suppose if I am asking you, okay, find out the difference of square of 101 and 100. If I am asking you this question, so what you will do is, you will simply add both the numbers, that will be 201, that will be the answer. Okay, it is a better way and quicker way to do it, right? Next is your Pythagoras triplets. Pythagorean triplets are, if the sum of squares of two numbers is equal to the third square of third number, then they are called Pythagoras triplets. What I am saying is, if sum of squares of two numbers, if sum of squares of any two numbers is equal to the square of third number, then A, B, C will be called Pythagorean triplets. Okay. Now let's take some question from your book. Okay, first type of question is, you have to determine whether the given number is a perfect square or not. Okay, so suppose you are given a number 729. Okay, how do you determine it is a perfect square? You find its prime factors. You find the prime factor of the number. If the prime factor of a number form a pair, then it is a perfect square, otherwise not. Let's see. Prime factors are 729. First of all, by 3 2 is 6, 3 4 is 12, 3 3 is 9. Again 3 8 is 24, 3 1 is 3, again 3 27, again 3 18, sorry, not 18, 9. And then again 3 3 and again 3 1. Now we need to form the pairs. If the prime factors are in pair of 2, if all the prime factors are in pair of 2, then it is a perfect square, otherwise not. How pair of 2? See, 3 and 3 that become one pair, 3 and 3 becomes one pair, 3 and 3 becomes one pair. So there are 3 pairs of 2. So this is a perfect square now. Okay, let us take another example. 2 5 0 0 0. Okay, by looking at the number, I can identify that the number is not a perfect square because the number of zeros at the end of the number, are odd. Okay, this number can only be a perfect square if the number of zeros at the end of the number are even. Okay, they can be 2, they can be 4, they can be 6 and so on, but there are only 3 numbers. I can, just by looking at the number, I can say that this number is not a perfect square. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove it using prime factorization. So first of all, by 2, 2 ones are 2. Let's take 5. Okay, 5 fives are 25, 0, 0, 0. 5, 2, 0, 0. 5 fours are 20, 0, and 5 eights are 40. Okay, next come 2, 2 fours are 8, 2, 2 are 4, and 2 finally. Okay, let's see the pairing. There is one pair of 5, another pair of 5. Now this 5 remains alone. Another pair of 2 and 2 remains alone. Okay, you cannot form a pair between 5 and 2. Okay, you cannot say that these two numbers are remaining alone, let's form the pair. You have to form the pair between the same numbers. Okay, so there is a pair of 2, there is a pair of 5, there is a pair of 5, but one of the 5 is loose and one of the 2 is loose. So this is not a perfect square. Okay, let's see some more examples. Next is this type of question you have. This is question number 6 of your book. You have to determine the unit digits of the square of the number just by looking at it. Suppose a number is 495. So unit digit of its square is going to be 5. Why 5? Because we discussed in the table earlier. If the unit digit of a number is 5, then its square, the unit digit of its square is going to be 5. Okay, you can do this question by yourself then. Okay, then there are questions regarding some patterns. Then there is one more type of question that I haven't discussed. I've discussed in my earlier lecture when I taught you, but let me revise you. What should be multiplied or divided from a number to make it a perfect square? Okay, questions are like this. Be multiplied or divided from a number. Okay, question can either come as multiplied or divided. Okay, I'm going to explain both of these together, but question language can be either multiplied or divided. What should be multiplied or divided from a number let's take a number. Let's take 1000. From 1000 to make it a perfect square. Okay, so what do we need to do now? What we are going to do is, first of all, we need to determine the prime factor of 1000. Prime factors of 1000 are 2, 2 5s are 10, 0, 0, 2, 2 2s are 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 5, and then 5, 25, 5, 5, and finally 5, 1. Okay, these becomes the prime factors of the numbers. Okay, now next what we are going to do, we are going to form the pairs. There is one pair of 2, there is one pair of 5. So one of the 2 is loose, one of the 5 is loose. If the question is for multiplication, what to be multiplied? So in order to be multiplied, we will multiply the number which are loose. We will multiply the number 1000 with the numbers which do not have any pair. Okay, so we will add 1 2 to the number and 1 5 to the number. So this will become 10,000 and this will be a perfect square. And if the question is asking us what should be divided, so by what should this number be divided to make it a perfect square? That is going to be 1000 will be divided by what? These loose numbers, 2 into 5. Multiplication of these If we have to multiply, we multiply these loose numbers. If we want to divide, we divide these loose numbers, and the answer is 100. 100 is a perfect square, 10,000 is a perfect square, but 1000 is not a perfect square. Fine. Okay, after this there are many questions in your book regarding patterns. Okay, I have discussed some questions with the assignment also, but let's take one of the question based on the patterns, that is 11 square is 121, 101 square is 10201, 1001, sorry, 10101 square is 102030201. Okay, and the things goes on. Okay, so if I want to do 1010101, okay, I want to do this square is then 10203040201. So this form of pattern, this is kind of pattern that have been formed, and we determine the final answer based on this pattern. Next, there is one more pattern, that is the last question of your exercise. This is 1 square plus 2 square. What is happening is you add both the numbers. You multiply both the numbers. The answer is 2. Answer will be 3 square. 1 square plus 2 square plus 2 square is equals to 3 square. Take two more numbers. Suppose 6 square plus 7 square. Okay. What is here is these two are consecutive number. 6 7s are 42. So next is 42 square. The answer should be equal to 43 square. Okay. This is again a sort of pattern. Let's moving on to square root. For the square root of a number, we are going to use prime factorization method. To determine the square root of a number, we are going to use prime factorization method only. Okay. Once again, properties of square roots are same as properties of square. The square root of an even number is always going to be even. The square root of an odd number is always going to be odd. There is no property about negative square root. We cannot determine yet the square root of a negative number. That comes in 10th class or 11th class. Okay. So you cannot determine the square root of a negative number yet. You can only determine the square root of a positive number. Okay, let's take some example. Let's find out the square root of 4096. 4096. Okay. So once again, 2 2s are 4, 0, 2 4s are 8, 2 8s are 16. 2 1s are 2, 0, 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8. 2 5s are 10, 1 2 2 256. 128, 64, 32, 8, sorry, not 8, 16, 16, 8, 4, 2, and finally 1. Okay, so in order to determine its square root, we are going to form pairs. 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 pairs, 4 pairs, 5 pairs, and 6 pairs. This is the rough form. Okay, I am just talking about the rough form. I am just talking about the, as it is a revision class, I am not writing down in proper order. It is just a rough form. So out of this pair we take 1 2. Out of this pair we take another 2, another 2, another 2. One number out of each pair. We take one number out of each pair. So 4096, square root of 4096, this is the sign for square root. Square root of 4096 will be 2, this, into 2, this, into 2, this, into 2, again this, into 2, into 2. this and this. So 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 16 2s are 32, 32 2s are 64. So square of 64 is 4096 and square root of 4096 is 64. Okay, this is the way in which you determine the square root of any number. Next, what is important for you is some of the word problems. Okay, I will take one. You are given that in a rally there are 841 cadets. That is question number 12 of your book. In a rally there are 841 cadets. Okay, you have to arrange the cadets such that the number of rows and number of columns are equal. Okay, so what the question wants you to do is, it simply wants you to determine the square root of 84. Okay, you simply need to determine the square root of 841. 8 plus 4 is 12, 3, 7. Let's take 7. 7 1 is 7, 7 2 is 14. No. Then what should be the answer? Let me think for a bit. 841. 841. 841 is a square of 29. 29 into 29 is 841. Okay, so there should be 29 rows and 29 columns in order to accommodate 841 cadets. Okay, in the similar one you have question number 11. In this question you have 3844 plants that to be are grown in the same number of rows and same number of columns. So once again you need to determine the square root of 3844 and that will be your answer. Okay, so that's it for now. Shortly I will be sending you the solution for your second assignment sheet. Thank you for your time.